Hello everyone, Lucky Arduino here. Today I'm going to be showing you how I created a miniature safe. If someone attempts to open this safe and rob the items inside, it will set off an alarm that will alert the owners of the safe to an intruder. Let's see how it works. Alright, let's go through a little demonstration of this safe. So, here I have a 3D printed box with a latch on the front. You can unlock it and lock it again. Now, if I try to open it, you can see there's a bunch of items inside. You can see a breadboard set up. I haven't opened it as much because I don't want the buzzer to play while I'm talking. Now, if I open it farther, the buzzer plays. I could make that louder, you'll see that in the code later, but for the explanation purposes, this much volume is fine. And as you can see here, I have two components. This is called a tilt ball switch, which I will explain in a second, and a buzzer. It's a very simple project, and let's go over how that works next. This is a tilt ball switch. Looks a lot like a capacitor, but its inner workings are very different. So what this essentially is it uses the angle that it's at to open and close a circuit. Now, how did this do that? Well, if I move it up and down, you can hear a rattling sound. Sorry if it's not very loud, but there's a metal conducting ball inside this tilt ball switch. When it's at an angle such that it's upright, this little metal ball is connected to the two legs of this tilt ball switch. That creates a closed circuit, which means that electricity can flow through this and any components connected to it. But if I tilt it like this, the ball is at the bottom. It's not connected to these legs, which creates an open circuit, which means that nothing is connected anymore. And in this way, you can use the angle of a tilt ball switch to open and close your circuit in any way that you want. So there are some limitations to the tilt ball switch. It only works on one axis, right? As you can see, because it only works on this rotational axis. There is a better version of it called an accelerometer, which measures the X, Y, and Z coordinates of any device, which means that it can measure its position at any point. But the tilt ball switch has the advantage also of being very simple, meaning that it's used in a lot of toys, for example, ones that only require that one axis of rotation. You don't need to use something as complicated as an accelerometer to accomplish the same task that a tilt ball switch can. And that's a disadvantage and an advantage of the tilt ball switch. Alright, let's go over the code for this project really quickly. So here I have the buzzer port and the tilt port set up, and I have a tilt value that I'll use later. Let's go to the void setup. This is the code that runs once. So here we have our pin mode. We're setting buzzer as output, obviously because we want to output sound, and our tilt sensor as input because we want to receive the input from the tilt ball switch. This is just for testing purposes, the serial monitor. Now the loop function. First, we start with tilt being at high by default. This allows the tilt ball switch to be turned on every time it makes a reading, which is helpful because if you don't have this in your code, the tilt ball switch will not turn on at all because, as we said up here, the tilt pin is an input, right? So how can an input be written upon? It has to be an output. So we have to write this at the start of our code so that this line is not misconstrued in any way. Then we have our tilt value, which reads the value at a digital input. This is important because the tilt sensor only has two states, on and off. And this means that we have to use a digital read, which returns things in terms of 0 and 1. This is for testing purposes. We print it out. Here's a real test. If the tilt value is 0, which means the box is open, we'll turn on the buzzer at a value of 5. This is very low, actually, but that's because I did not want to use a very high value because that might hurt your ears. Otherwise, if the tilt value is 1, it will turn off the buzzer. And now we just have a quick delay to make sure that the make sure that the tilt ball switch is not returning inputs that are wrong. This is an operation called debouncing, which prevents too many inputs from coming in at once and messing up the input of the system. And that's basically the code for this project. Pretty simple stuff. Alright you guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Before you leave, make sure you check out my website, www.luckyarduino.weebly.com. It has a lot better formatting for my content and recommendations for you to get your own Arduino kit, as well as cool things that you can just see more about my channel and who I am as an electronics content creator. Also, don't forget to check out my shorts page, which has a lot of short videos about different components and demonstrations of my projects. For example, the buzzer here, I already have a video on that. Go ahead and check it out next if you want to learn how that works. And the tilt ball switch video will be coming shortly. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.